This is Kugan Cassius for iFLTV. It is Monday evening. Delighted to be joined by Big John Fisher. What's that, caramel latte?
No, just a plain white coffee. Is it filter coffee? From a coffee machine. So it's nice. It is nice, actually. Very nice.
So Charlotte was actually doing something for you for a change, yeah?
She does do quite a lot for me. Needs to up her game in the bedroom, but apart from that, it's all good. Bosh.
I'm not even going to bosh you for that one.
I just said that.
That was horrendous.
I just said that because she's looking there. Have you seen the look? Look, you've seen the face. Look. Pardon? Oh, let's get on.
Right, we're into New Year now. Nearly a week in. Obviously, it's been 2 or 3 weeks since quite a talked about an eventful time in Saudi Arabia. Have you got over it all, first of all?
I think so. We come back, went to Prague. Johnny treated myself, Charlotte and Hetty to a trip to Prague, which was absolutely wonderful, lovely place. Come back, yeah, it seems like a lifetime ago now. You know, Saudi Arabia, Christmas, obviously the fight, Christmas, and then going to Prague. Yeah, all over it now. Just got a bit of a cough, bit of a chest infection, like the rest of the country, I think.
Absolutely. So I've not really kind of spoke to you. We speak obviously quite often, but I've not spoke to you as in a reflection of that night in Saudi Arabia. We had what I'd call a cameo appearance from yourself on my interview with Gareth, which we'll talk about in a bit. But just going back to that night in Saudi, and I know it's fair to say you're watching it through kind of a blinkered vision because it's your son. It's completely acceptable. So if there were close rounds, etc., you're obviously going to side with your boy. But have you watched the fight back? I'm assuming you have. And are your thoughts the same as what occurred on, or what you thought happened on December 21st?
When the fight was going on, I was with Charlotte. I knew something weren't right with Johnny. So to be honest with you, Kugan, when the fight finished, I really, honestly, out of my heart, couldn't care less whether he won, lost or drawn. I just wanted to make sure Johnny was all right because he had a blood clot on his ear from round 3, couldn't stand up, had no balance at all. And I knew something weren't right, but obviously you don't know what's not right. But I just knew after the 4th round, he wasn't himself. So when the decision came out, I was a worried dad. And my initial thought after that was, I think, oh, Johnny could have lost that there because it was a tight fight. But I have come back, I've watched it. And when I watched it back, rounds 1 to 4, Johnny, my opinion, which I think was quite, you know, widespread. I'd give him round 6, I think it was 6 or 7, I think it was 6 and round 10. So to might be slightly biased, but I give it to that. And I know a lot of people have looked it back and said exactly the same. What people have got to realise in boxing, 10-round fights, you've got to score it round for round. And Dave had the more eye-catching shots. And obviously Johnny's 6'5", big man, his balance was gone and he looked like he was going at any time in a couple of them rounds. But testament to Johnny, he didn't. He said to me, he said in round 5, he said he's never had anything like that in his life. He said he couldn't stand up. Dave put him down with a shot, and I'm not taking nothing away from the shot, but he just could not stand up. And he just said, Dad, I just do not know how I got through it, but he got through it. So for me, forget about win, lose or draw. When your son comes through something like that, and he got through the rest of the fight, you know, I'm just so proud of him. And he's done so well. And he's proved one thing, that he's got the heart and the balls to be a boxer, because a lot of people have had a lot of messages from world champions, from commentators, everyone likes to keep it on the lowdown, but they message me. 99% of boxers themselves couldn't have got through that round or finished the fight. So, testament to Johnny. But listen, close fight, could have gone either way. And I haven't got any problem with anyone who thinks Dave won it, because Dave put up a tremendous fight. He's a tremendous athlete, a tremendous man. He had a 12-week camp. And we've got nothing but respect for Dave and his whole team. They've acted like gentlemen throughout, so no problems with them at all.
A conversation we had, obviously, off camera was about, especially in a 10-round fight, is, like I said, people, whether they're actually actively scoring a fight from round 1 to 10. Now, we know the majority of people that are watching the fight are not doing that. And obviously the round 5, which was the most telling round, is a factor to why people believe that your boy lost the fight, which is kind of, that's part and parcel of boxing. It happens a lot in boxing. We mentioned the Fury Usyk fight in the first fight. where round 9 was...
And Fury Wilder when he got knocked down.
Right,
You know?
so people are always taken about by that, but if you're not scoring it actively, like in your head or on a piece of paper, saying, right, round 1, 10-9 to so-and-so, if you're not doing that, then the cries of a robbery, and I spoke to Dave Allen yesterday, he said it wasn't a robbery. He felt like he lost a close fight.
Exactly. It's not a robbery. A robbery is something when someone gets pummeled for the whole 10 rounds. First 4 rounds, Johnny was nice and comfortable, boxing well. Then the sort of freak injury happened, not taking anything away from Dave, but obviously distorted Johnny a bit. But yeah, Dave did have the more eye-catching shots. There's no denying that. He put Johnny down, and to people looking on, it might look, oh, Johnny's took a bit of an hammer in there, he's had some hard rounds, and he's come through them. But people forget the 4 good rounds, and round 10, I'm just so proud of Johnny to finish how strong he did in round 10 as well. And the rounds in between are so subjective. One could have gone to Johnny, one could have gone to Dave, it could have been a draw. So that's all the difference. And obviously the judges are ringside, they're seeing it, and they're scoring it round for round. But as I say, Kugan, hand on my heart, I couldn't care less whether won, lost or drew. At the end of the day, it's your boy in there. And on that night, you realise, I knew it already, but you realise how tough boxing is. You know, anything can happen, a blood clot. We had to go for brain scans afterwards. And they could tell you anything, you know, the boxer that died the other day. You know, boxers don't get the respect they deserve. It's all right, fat people at home like me saying, oh, he's rubbish, he's this, he's that. They ain't got a cat and else chance to relive or do what these men are doing, you know, and women. So that's just what upset me a little bit, people being hysterical and, you know, just going well over the top. You know, it was a close fight. Could have gone either way. No denying that at all.
Comes on to my next point about kind of, let's just kind of clarify the aftermath of this, because obviously Johnny and David spoken about their fight and very honest about their fight, and fair play to Dave Allen. He was kind of playing his part in kind of the aftermath of this as well. As it transcended after that, when we got back from Saudi Arabia, just for clarity, John, your issue isn't with people that feel like Dave Allen won the fight. Your issue, and we'll talk about that, the Gareth A.Davies comments and interview, is with how that's portrayed, as opposed to whether you just feel like somebody won, either or fighter won a fight.
Listen, I've not got a problem with anyone's opinion. I have opinion myself, and I expect people to respect that. And I respect anyone else's opinion on whatever it is in life. If I don't agree with it, that's up to me. But the one thing I have, Kugan, is it's not even people going over the top that you don't know. It's when you have people going over the top that you do know, that you think are sort of semi-friends. That's what got me. I lived my life, my whole life, by loyalty. And the way certain people acted, to me, it unnerved with me, you know, because I would never, ever do that myself. But then you find out about people in life. You find out who's your friends and who's not your friends. So I'm glad we have, to be honest. So, you know, it's you know you can trust and who you can't trust.
John, what specifically about those comments from whether it's Spencer Oliver, Gareth Davies, Talksport, etc., what specifically are you aggravated by? Because obviously there is a counter-argument that people are entitled to their opinion, etc., etc. You mentioned that you spent time with people we've spoken about, etc., etc., but what specifically angered you about the way things were portrayed? I saw it, people were sending me videos as soon as the fight was over. Look what Gareth's doing, look what Spencer Oliver's doing. Because they think they're your mates. And I've not got a problem with opinions. I've not got a problem with anyone's opinion. But it's when, as I said, when someone you think is a friend and they go over the top like that, you know, the language they use. I know they're chasing views. They're working for Talksport. They want to be probably trying to work for someone bigger. So they're trying to make themselves relevant. I know that, I understand that. But when you've come in here and shared a meal, we shared more than one meal with Spencer and Gareth, and act like that, and you think they're your sort of friends. You know, just the way they went over the top. But I haven't got a problem with anyone's opinion. And if that's how they have to go about their life, they're welcome to it, because it's not me. From the video that we did, obviously, over a week ago now, where you came on to my interview with Gareth, which I asked you to do, by the way. It wasn't a case of you saying, oh, you wanted to come on, I asked you if you'd come on. Do you regret any of the comments that you said to Gareth about certain things about he's not kind of welcome in your house and all this kind of thing, or not really?
None at all. A lot of people warned me about him before when we was friends with him. A lot of people, a lot of high-profile people. And I said, no, he's all right. I always thought he was all right. You know, no, he's this, he's that. Spencer's the one that surprised me more than Gareth, to be honest with you, because I knew a lot of people spoke about Gareth, but Spencer, the way he acted, used to be managed by a good friend, Jess Harding. So there's a lot of, like, you know...
Shout out Jess Harding, by the way, as well. Yeah.
I mean, Jess Harding's a great bloke. Do you know what I mean? We do a lot of stuff with Jess. He's good for Johnny. He's in Johnny's ear holes, unofficially part of his management team. He's always there for Johnny. So he used to manage Spencer. So you think you've got a bit of a, you know, connection. And obviously we knew Spencer ourselves. So Spencer upset me. He's upset me probably more than Gareth, because Spencer's a boxer. He's been through it. He knows what Johnny's gone through. You know, so, and when I see Spencer, I will pull him to one side and have a chat with him. But like, as you say with Gareth, I wished I'd have answered his, go and have your dinner, John, because that was pretty good from Gareth, and I didn't come back with that, and that was a good line, to be honest.
Your daughter does a good impression.
Yeah, she does a very good impression of it. When we was going around Prague, that's all she kept saying, go and have your dinner, John. So, fair play to Gareth on that. He did come back with a good one there. So, credit where credit's due. And I don't wish Gareth any harm. I don't wish Spencer any harm, but I wouldn't be the man I am if I didn't say anything. And when I see him face to face, I'll talk to him and I'll tell him. It's not me being a John Fury like John Fury want to be, got to smash people's heads in. That's just me being a man wanting to talk to someone else about it. That's all. And when Gareth come on the interview, which you was doing, I just told him how I felt. I didn't realise it'd have so many views and do as well as it did, but no bad feelings towards Gareth, no bad feelings towards Spencer, but I live by a code, and if I don't stick by that code, you might as well put me 6 feet under the ground, because that's the type of person I am.
I mean, it's fair to say that you, and not just you, Charlotte, your kids, etc., have not had this type of experience when it comes to Johnny.
When it comes to Johnny, no, but I get it every day. Like Gareth's dinner thing, I get fat bastard, fat this, fat that every day. And people say, yeah, I'll put it out there. Heart attack. When was the last time you see your cock? When was the last time you did this? When was the last time? I get it every day, 1,000 times every day. So it don't bother me. And do you know what, Kugan? The most important thing here as well, the person it don't bother is Johnny. Because he'll say, why are you responding? Why are you doing this? He does not care a less. He knows how tough boxing is. He knows how tough Dave Allen is. He knows how well he did in that fight. He's now in Australia for a month. Good luck to him. Go and enjoy yourself, Johnny. I'm going out there to see him. So to all the haters that knock him, keep knocking, because he's doing something right, because he's sitting on a beach for the next 4 weeks while you've got to get up and go to work. Bosh.
I know you've had, like I said, you've had whatever interactions over with yourself, but the point I was making is Johnny's kind of the reaction from, or some of the reaction from Johnny's fight with Dave Allen, you've not had to deal with that as a family, but now you have had to deal with it, and, which I said off camera as well, for future stead, there might be a possibility in the future where you have this again.
I'll tell you a little story. As I say, I'm used to it. Johnny couldn't care less. And then Charlotte said to me, you've got to stop reading them comments because they're from low-lifes, idiots that don't know what they're doing. I say, yeah, all right, you're right, and I've got to stop it. Then 10 minutes later, she would go, look what this one said. Look what this one said. And it's just like, yeah, listen, when you're doing something right, in this country, you like to build people up to bring them down. Fury, AJ, look what AJ's been through. Yeah. You know, look what he's done for British boxing.
Bruno back in the day had it as well.
Everyone's been through it. Daniel Dubois, look what... Listen, when Daniel lost to our good mate Joe Joyce, everyone was giving him grief. We never did, because we knew what state Daniel's eye was in. And we always said how good Daniel was. Johnny's always said that he's the hardest puncher he's ever been in with, and the man is destined for greatness. Now look at Daniel Dubois. So credit to him. And as I say, you can't let these people get you. I like a little bit of That's what I do. Do you know what I mean? I'll have a little go back at people, because that's me. But Johnny could not care less. Henry could not care less. William could not care less. As long as Johnny's all right, as long as... Listen, Johnny can do whatever he wants. People don't realise he's got a history degree. His A-level results, A-stars across the board. He's a clever young man. He could do whatever he wants in life. He chooses to box. He might not ever box again. He might not want to box again. He might want to go and do something else. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. So sod everyone else that has to go and do things because they haven't pushed themselves in life like what Johnny's done. But Johnny could put his hand to anything and be whatever he wants. So as a dad, that's all you can ask for. You know, and I'm so proud of not only Johnny, of all my sons, of my wife, my daughter. We're a lovely, close-knit family. but we've got a good extended close-knit family as well. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of us in our family, and there's a lot of us with our close friends as well. So when the shells come in, that's all right. There's plenty of shoulders to take on the rocks and the bombs. So bring it on.
Just going back to my interview with Dave Allen yesterday, he did say to me that any potential rematch would not be happening next, as in their next fight. What can you tell us about the possibility of that rematch happening and kind of a timeline possibly of that?
Listen, Dave, tremendous man, and I said to Dave, one part in the future, I wouldn't mind if Dave and Johnny ever did a bit of work together. You never know. It's like a Rocky story. You know what they've been through. Johnny looks up to Dave so much. He was the first pro he ever sparred. And Dave has been sort of Johnny's idol in boxing. And they've had a good fight. Great fight. Fight of the night, I think, a lot of people have said. And will it happen again? Yeah, it probably will, because there's a lot of money at stake. But it'll happen when they want it to happen. You know, would Johnny have...
Do you think it's the right fight for Johnny to have next, though? Would you recommend that? Yeah.
The first 4 rounds was quite easy. He got an injury, not taking anything away from Dave's performance, but without that injury, Johnny carries on boxing like that. I'm not saying he would have stopped Dave because he's a tough man, but Johnny could have boxed like that for 10, 12, 15 rounds. So, yeah, why not? What's the problem? You have a warm-up fight, what for? You're never going to replicate Dave Allen. Dave Allen is a one-off. But it's up to them. It's up to them what they do. This is what people don't realise. I'm a dad. I'm not nothing to do with Johnny's boxing management or team. I'm just a dad. I'll just pass on dad advice. That's all I do. I leave it to Mark, his managers, Johnny, and obviously Dave if he wants it. But listen, there'll be a lot of money there for a rematch. It's set at the O2. So I can't see why it wouldn't happen. But you never know in boxing. Might go one way, might go the other. So, but for me, I reckon it will happen, but it's down to them.
Just off camera, you mentioned about a little podcast clip of Kevin Mitchell that we saw earlier on that I wanted you to talk about as well.
Yeah, Kevin Mitchell, in lockdown when Johnny was still doing his history degree, student, we was working, nearly lost our house, nearly lost our business. We was working all the hours God sent just to keep a roof over our head. Didn't have any social media profile then, so it's just normal. Not that many, not normal now, but just like no social media presence at all. And Johnny was up Edge Gym, and he come home one day, he said, "Oh, Dad, Kevin Mitchell was up there." Kevin Mitchell from round here, you know, big icon, fighting family. We knew Kevin to say hello to, but not much more. And he said, "He's took me on the pads, Dad." I said, "Oh, is he, Johnny?" I said, "How much did he charge you?" He said, "No, he didn't charge me." I said, "I offered him money. He wouldn't take anything." So I said, "Right, that's really kind of him, Johnny." You know, he took him on the pads for about half an hour. So we was doing the meat at the time. So I said, "Right, find out where he lives." We took a load of meat round to him, load of steak, chicken, ribs. And I forgot all about it. Totally forgot all about it. And I saw something come up today on an interview. And Kevin Mitchell's remembered that we took the meat round to him after taking his son on the pads. Now, for someone like Kevin Mitchell to remember that, just goes little things you do in life that don't mean anything, but people can remember them. And for Kevin Mitchell to remember that is unbelievable. I think it's unbelievable because Kevin Mitchell is an icon. And this is, again, what's wrong with British boxing and boxing. Someone as talented and as good as Kevin Mitchell, they should be more revered. You know, what he did, the fights he had, how good he was. But that was just, yeah, that made me smile this morning when I see that. I thought, God, I couldn't remember that because we was looking for his house. And Johnny went round there and I was round the corner and Johnny gave him the meat. And he's remembered that all these years later. So, big up to Kevin Mitchell.
Okay, another thing actually before we end, I did want to ask you about. You got a lot of criticism for ordering 100 burgers from McDonald's. Right. I wasn't here, and the only reason I wasn't here is because I was ill. I was ill. Yeah. He was. Yeah, Joe was not here for a different reason. I wasn't well.
1963 or 63 red balloons or 63 Happy Harrys.
What? Can't wait, Joe.
Can I just clarify that up? I was sitting here, right? We had a little celebration to celebrate Johnny's win because he did win, right? We had a little celebration in our house turns into a big celebration. We had people from all walks of life, and it was an unbelievable night. We had such a good time, and then it wasn't even me. Stuart Kinney of Next Gen Enterprises, sponsor of Johnny's and a very good friend, ordered 150 burgers and cheeseburgers and I get the blame for it. And they posted it, and I brought them in. You this, you're that, you're this, you're this, you're that. And I just thought, I can't even win, so I just went with it. I said, yeah, all right, I've ordered the burgers. But there weren't many left, was there? Because Stuart...
How many was left?
There was about 20, 25, but the dogs had some good burgers. Yeah, they was nice. But listen, it was a fun thing to do. Stuart Kinney paid for them, Stuart Kinney ordered them, and I get the blame. But there you go, that's what happens. But it was a great
cares night. Anyway. You got a party going on here, and it's like,
yeah.
To be honest with you, the amount of people that was here could have easily ironed out 100 odd burgers.
We could have easily ironed them all out. It was only about 20 odd left. But what you find, this is what you find with social media, whatever you do is not good enough. People going, oh, you should give it to food banks, you should do this. We do a lot for charities that people don't see, and we don't want to talk about what you do because you don't need to shout about it. But when you get people saying, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you just feel like saying, please, leave me alone. Because we don't do as much as other people, but you do what you can. Do you know what I mean? And you can't do everything, but you do what you can when you can. And when you just get abused just for ordering 100 hamburgers, please, leave me alone. What? No, I didn't even order.
I'll say, safely, I could eat 4 cheeseburgers myself.
Stuart Moore, my brother-in-law, the flag man, he went out with about 8 cheeseburgers in his hand. He's put them in his pockets.
No, Joe, you could iron out a lot more than 4.
If you put patties in the bun,
Yeah.
to make it one massive burger,
Yeah.
I reckon I could do 12.
We'll have to do that. That's a new challenge. So. But
Don't. Everyone will be on our case.
the fun police will have to sod off for that one. That's a good challenge, that is. Yeah. Yeah. What?
Cheeseburger challenge with Joe Pugh and John Fisher.
No, or we could say, have your dinner, John. Good line, that. It's a good line. Come on, Etsy. Come on, Etsy. Oh, you've got to. Come
Quick.
on, Etsy, you've got to.
You've got to now.
Come on, camera.
You
Just
don't have to
stand
come on
behind
camera.
I'm laughing. Go and have your dinner, John.
Well done, Hetty.
Right, John, thank you very much for your hospitality as always. And just a reflection really on kind of the last 2 or 3 weeks. There was a few bits to digest there. 2025, so happy new year to you and your wonderful family. And listen, whatever happens to Johnny, and also Dave Allen, it'll happen, it's boxing. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, listen, wish Dave and his team nothing but the best. Dave's got a lovely young family. He's put more food on the table and he's got a chance to put even more food on the table. So, and the same to Johnny. Johnny's got a mortgage to pay. People don't realise they're just men going to work, you know, and sometimes when you go to work, part of your equipment breaks or your computer's not working or your car's not working or your van, there's something wrong with the exhaust. And Johnny was working that night and something went wrong, but he didn't let it get him down. And that's what impressed me the most. The heart, the courage, the hunger that he showed, even when he was hurt bad, he carried on going. Art of a Lion. And Dave Allen, 12-week camp. No one else has ever given him a 12-week camp. But the next time we'll give him 14 weeks if he wants it. Let's have it, Dave. Bosh.
John, thank you very much for coming to iFLTV. Actually, I did 2 nights back-to-back in the Blue Orchid.
Oh, yeah, what did he show you? What picture was that? He just showed you.
Oh,
is it something else?
That was something else.
Yeah, the Blue Orchid, they told me you'd been there.
I went there, Friday and Saturday last week, we ironed out a lot of Bones of Dragon.
Did they look after you?
They always look after in there, and it's banged out in there. It's like...
I went in there last night, pick up a takeaway, so you just come back from an aeroplane, you've got to have a Chinese, haven't you? And it was mobbed in there, absolutely mobbed. But they're great people, Ray, Daniel, Richard, the rest of them there, Pistol Pete. They're unbelievable people. They work so hard. People don't realise how hard they work. But the food is exceptional as well. So you have a good time at the Blue Orchid always.
Absolutely. John Fisher, thank you very much for talking to iFLTV. First cough of the whole nearly 25-minute interview.
And I've done all right.
Have you got anything else you want to add before we finish? Cough posh.
All I want to say is all the people going, I'm the next John Fury. I've got a lot of respect for John Fury. He's always been good to me. He's always been good to Johnny. What he gets up to is down to him. He's his own man. But I am standing my ground for my son. And I do it all the time, so call me what you want. Because if anyone has a go at my son and I think it's unwarranted, I'll have you. Let's have it.
Go and have your dinner, John. Right.
Go and have your dinner, John.
Thank you very much. We'll catch up with you again soon.